Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my deck profile for the TeleDAD. Now, this is a very historic deck. This is not a accurate representation of what the deck actually was back in its day, but I tried to be as authentic as possible while still splashing in some new cards to make it a little bit more competitively oriented. I'm not going to guarantee that this is going to win you any games, because TeleDAD is kind of an outdated deck, and even though if we would have gone back everything, the deck would probably be good again, because we have some new cards and that would make it ridiculous if Dark Arm Dragon went back to 3 and everything. But without further ado, let's go into deck profile, and I'll explain my choices as we go along. So first we go for 2 Tragodia. Tragodia was a staple card back in the day when this deck was actually played, and it still is to a certain degree a good card. It's just not very viable today. However, its level alteration ability is very useful, because most of the monsters that we have in this deck are cards that have levels which we can synchro with. So, and that's the main object of the deck, by the way. It's to synchro up for stuff like Beals and Void Ogre Dragon, Stardust, and stuff. So, yeah, it's the OG synchro deck that was dominating a format. Everyone was playing it. The deck, that is. And those that didn't play it did play Fog FTK. That was basically the 2 decks that were relevant at the time. Next round, 1 Dark Creator. This is a card which is gonna be very useful for you actually. You need to have far more darks in the grave and special summon it, and then you summon something back with its effect. Great graveyard management, and opens up place for Dark Arm Dragon later on. Then of course the star player of the deck, which is Dark Arm Dragon. This card is, you summon it, pop 3 cards in the field, then synchro as much as you can, and then swing for game. That was the deck's goal, and the deck was actually called Teleport Dark Armed because of Dark Arm Dragon as well as Emergency Teleport, the 2 key cards in the deck. It was very OTK centric, so yeah, for those people who don't really know what the TeleDAD is, like newer Yu-Gi-Oh players and stuff. Then we have Gores. It's a decent hand trap. You just drop it when you don't have anything on board, and it gives you a little token which you can synchro with. Also, Michael here is gonna go, because I realized earlier when I tried to record this earlier that Michael can't be summoned in this because there's no light non-tuner that is level 5. Well, actually level 6, because we need Effect Veiler to synchro it. Or a level 3 synchro level 3 tuner for that matter. But you can run it if you run Psychic Commander instead of Krebons, but regardless. Next we run 1 Caius. Basically just an easy way to just get rid of anything that's troublesome. Say if your opponent summons the Beals, or something else that your deck really can't get over. Next we run 3 Malicious. This is a great entry into rank 6s, not necessarily have any in this particular deck, as well as our level 8 and 7 synchros, together with Krebons. This is basically the big 2 cards besides Dark Arm that made the deck so good. Next we run 2 Black Dragon Collapse Serpent and 2 Veer Busters. They're just there to be synchro material for Goyo Guardian, as well as banishing Eclipse Wyvern. And of course the rank 4 XC summons. That's basically why they're there. Next Dark Grepher is for graveyard filling, as well as XC's fodder, as well as synchro fodder for Goyo, as well as the XC's monsters that we have. Run 1 Eclipse Wyvern. It's our way to get Dark Armed to our hand, because since we can't run 3 Dark Armed, we have to go for some kind of substitute that gives us Dark Armed faster to our hand. Next run 3 Krebons. This is our E-Teleport target. It's pretty self-explanatory what it does. It's just a level 2 tuner. Nothing too special there. Next run 2 DD Crow to fill our graveyards fill my graveyard with darks, as well as banishing cards from my opponent's graveyard. And then of course the 2 Effect Veilers. Effect Veiler wasn't actually run in TeleDAD because TeleDAD did not exist. It was like non-existent when this card came out, because it had been hit so hard before this card came out. If it would have been a thing, TeleDAD would not actually have been nearly as successful though, because at the time TeleDAD was a thing, there was no such thing as monster effect negation whatsoever. I mean, I believe actually Fiendish Chain might have been a thing at the time, but we didn't have any Veilers or breakthrough skills at the time, so Dark Arm Dragon, you basically had to negate its summon, otherwise you were just gonna lose right then and there. Next we run 1 Allure Darkness, draw power, then 2 Reinforcement of Army to get to our 2 Dark Greffers, then 1 Mind Control. This is a staple in the deck as well. Just steal something your opponent controls and then Synchro or XYZ with it. Then 1 Foolish Burial, ditch like, I don't know, a Malicious to the graveyard. You really want to open up with this, it makes the deck so much better. Next turn, 3 Emergency Teleport for easy synchros, but synchroing with Chaos or any of the Maliciouses is probably what you want to do first. Next we run 1 Veil of Darkness. Veil of Darkness is just an easy way just to cycle out cards you do not want. If you draw something like, say, a Malicious, you can send it to the grave and then draw another card. So yeah, that's a good thing. Next run, 1 Bottomless. 3 Phoenix Wing, Wind Blast. This is actually a really good card, and it's starting to see more play now thanks to Burning Abyss. It's actually a really good card in this format. And in this deck no less, because you can dump your Maliciouses into the graveyard and still not going neg of it. Making use of that ditch, not just for Malicious effect, but top decking something your opponent controls. Then we run 1 Compulse, basically just getting rid of monsters that we don't really want to deal with, say a Beals or what have you. The same with the Wing Blast actually. Next run 2 Dark Bribes and for Spell and Trap Negation, as well as 1 Solemn Warning. And that counts out the main deck. Now for the extra deck we run 2 Beals, 2 Void Ogres, 1 Stardust Dragon, 1 Stardust Spark Dragon, 1 Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Goyo Guardian, 1 Armades, and actually now when I think about it, we want to run a TG Hyper Librarian too, to replace that dumb card that I just stuck in earlier. As I said, 1 Armades, 1 TG Hyper Librarian, 1 Silencer's Arc, 1 Castel, 1 Evil Storm Excision Knight, and finally 1 Lovable Chain. And that runs up the deck. Now tell me what you guys think, and I'm out.